Hi and welcome to the Beer Temple. I am Chris Quinn and today I have 3 beers from the New England Brewing Company. Kind of fun the way that these 3 beers came across my counter, so to speak. One of the brewers from New England, his name was Sebastian, I believe. I should probably be better at remembering that. And his wife was named, oh, I'm really going to get this wrong and I apologize, Sebastian, Kate. Came in, very, very nice people. We talked beer for a while, and then as he was checking out, he kind of popped out a couple beers, let me know that he was a brewer for New England Brewing Company, and just kind of gave me the rundown on these 3 beers. So that was very, very nice of him. Thank you so much, Sebastian. I'm very excited about trying these beers. I don't think I've had any of them before. I'm not sure. So New England Brewing Company, did a little bit of research on them, been around for a little while. According to them, some of the pioneers of craft beer in cans. And they've sent us their pills, their German style pills, their IPA, and their double IPA. So the first one is Elm City Pilsner. It is a German style pils that's going to be a little bit lighter in body, a little crisper. I tend to find them a little drier and more crackery than Czech pils or Bohemian pils, and they tend to be a little less hoppy at times. If you get a really, really fresh Bohemian Pilsner, they can be quite hoppy and quite bitter. So very refreshing style of beer. One of my personal favorites, the German style pils. I personally prefer German pils to the Czech style. Just personal preference. Beautiful golden color here. Very light gold, bordering on straw. Awesome looking foamy white head that seems to be sticking around at least for the time being. Brilliant clarity. Pilsners like this are just so appetizing. They just kind of sparkle and shine, and there's such a nice contrast between that bright white foamy head and the crystal clear golden color of the beer. Really clean malt here, very like white bread, but quality white bread. I'm not really getting many of those melanoidins, not getting a lot of that brown bread or bread crust note, just kind of nice white bread. A hint of like a creaminess to it. And really lovely green herbs, fresh cut herbs, think of, and the brighter herbs like the basils, that sort of thing, rather than, you know, oregano and thyme, some of those like more like peppery herbs. This is the bright green, grassy, lemongrass, herbaceous notes here. Delightful, delightful, listen to me. Just what a great beer. I'm looking for some dates here, I'm sure. And this is obviously very fresh. Really awesome. When you get a very well-made Pilsner, and I can tell just by smelling it that this is a very well-made Pilsner, they're really such a great style. I think one of the overlooked styles still. I mean, they're getting more and more popular, but really nice, very light. The malt and the hops are in balance. I would almost say at first you get that kind of crackery white bread malt note, followed by some of those aromatic hop qualities, a little bit of that creaminess as well, and then it kind of finishes. And I was going to say, oh, this kind of finishes pretty clean, it just kind of drops off. But then as I was talking, I noticed there's some bitterness here as well, and the bitterness is growing and growing. Not quite aspirin-y, but a fairly assertive bitterness. Even though it isn't tongue scraping, you can tell it's there. It really kind of grows in the back of your mouth. Really nice beer. The cool thing about that type of bitterness is it makes you reach for something to eat or reach for another sip of beer, and it kind of is just a really enjoyable drinking experience. And you know, bitterness makes things more I don't know, drinkable. You know, you need to have some bitterness there, I feel. On to the Sea Hag. This is a IPA. All it says is 3 malts and a generous amount of hops. So my guess is, you know, maybe they switch around the hops, or you know, they don't want to be tied down to certain hops. Who knows? A little bit darker. You know, you're getting into certainly a golden, but a more of an orange color. The head is also just slightly off-white now, and quite a bit foamier than the Pilsner. Could have been just, you know, how I poured it, but you know, great head retention on all of these. I mean, just really nice beers. Not quite as crystal clear as that Pils is, but good clarity. Wow. This is a great smelling beer. Reminds me a little bit of Two Hearted. It's got that orange blossom and slight, just faint marmalade thing. It's got a little bit of that biscuity malt playing with that citrus hop note. But there's a lot of pine as well, a lot of those dank qualities, a lot of that kind of pot smell. But very green. And it's citrus, but it's not like a grapefruit. It's more like a sweet note that I think is accentuated by the malt here, like an orange. A lot going on. The blend of hops is nice. It's really giving some complexity to the aroma. I don't have my bucket, so I'm gonna have to finish this thing. So let me take one more sip. Really, this is all about the hops from beginning to end. From the aroma till when it first hits your mouth till the finish. Hops the entire time are the predominant flavor / aroma. That said, you never lose the malt, which I really like. I'm not a fan of hop water. I want some complexity, I want some balance, even to my most hoppy beers. And this definitely has it. In the aroma, you're getting some of those biscuity notes, a hint of that marmalade, which I think comes from the combination to me oftentimes of some of those English toasted malts and some hops. And you are definitely getting a big explosion, even more floral when it first hits your mouth. You know, getting into a little bit darker flower, you know, maybe, I don't know, red and purple flowers, whatever those would taste like. But the malt's always there. And in the mid palate, it kind of shows itself the most, and then follows through with that same very clean, not quite aspirine, but you're starting to get there, which is the one thing to me, you know, I'm not the biggest bitterness guy. I like bitterness in my beer, but I don't love it like some people do. But just a really great beer. I mean, this is really awesome stuff. You know, these guys have been doing it for a while, canning it for a while. I think they've got it down. This beer is really, really good. You know, I was expecting these to be good. These two have exceeded my expectations so far. Thank you again, Sebastian. Thank you so much. This was really great of you. It's so fun to just discover new beers this way. You know, it's fun to hunt beers, but it's so much fun to discover beers as well. This next one is Gandhi-Bot, the double IPA. And you know, what's it say? Double IPA, 3 varieties of American hops. Yeah, fully vegetarian, that's funny. Let's see. It may be the same color, maybe a hint lighter than the Sea Hag. Again, just wonderful foam here and head retention on all of these beers. Maybe, you know, just as clear as the Sea Hag, good clarity, you know, not brilliant like this Pils. A lot of hops here too. I'm getting a little bit more green, and also maybe, you know, also citrus. You're starting to teeter into big citrus, maybe tropical notes. massive aroma here. This may be the first one where I'm starting to lose the malt. It's just barely there. This is all about the hops here. And it's green. It's not quite that chivy spring onion thing, but it's starting to get there. It's kind of very green, not piney, and it's just, I don't know, this like bright green flavor. I think it's like the pine and pineapple kind of thing, which I don't think it's named that because it tastes like pine, but it sounds good, doesn't it? A little bit of sweetness there now that I'm smelling it, or perceived sweetness, malt sweetness. And more resinous too. Mouthfeel, lighter than I would have expected from a double IPA. A little bit more of that green, bordering onion thing, but it's fruity. It's got that big grapefruit note. It's got like a yellow, golden grapefruit, not a ruby one. It's the old-fashioned tart grapefruit citrus note here. Very dank. A little bit of resin, a little bit of earth and wood there, just a hint. Again, a nice kind of complex flavor here. All three of these beers are absolutely great, and ones that, you know, if they were somewhere you know, on draft in the area, you know, I'd pass a couple bars to get to this one, you know, the one that would have these beers, which to me is the mark of a really good beer. You know, this bar is good, it's got plenty of stuff, but if I go past this bar, this one has, you know, these New England ones, that's saying something, you know. Great stuff, and I am going to do my best to acquire some of these. Guys from New England Brewing, my one question for you is, how do I know how fresh these beers are? These are great fresh beers, and this is exactly how I want to drink them. So let me know, and I'll pass that on to everybody else out there. I am really excited for the people who are coming into the store today because they get to try this stuff. Thank you, as always, everybody, so much. If you have any questions, we've talked about it before, and I have to get around to actually answering some of them now. So send me your questions, email them to me, Facebook them to me. I'm not the best at checking Facebook. Email is the best way to do it. Go on the site, leave a comment. That's another great way to do it. Thank you guys, as always. Until next time, I've got some great New England beers. You know what? Oh well, just spilled it. I'm gonna have this one. I've got some great New England beers to drink, and hopefully you do too. Cheers, guys.